the special counsel confirmed that the Russian government sponsored efforts to illegally interfere with the 2016 presidential election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or other Americans colluded in those efforts. The report recounts 10 episodes involving the president and discusses potential legal theories for connecting those activities to the elements of an obstruction offense. The Deputy Attorney General and I concluded that the evidence developed by the special counsel is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense.
Mueller found the president of the United States wasn't a traitor after Democrats for 2 years falsely accused him of being a traitor. The president was framed, no collusion, he beat the rap, and now the angry left wants to impeach him for beating the rap. Trump survived unprecedented political torture. Prosecutors, FBI agents, the Department of Justice, all investigating him and his associates based on what we now know was false information about collusion. His associates were being spied on. Other governments, like Great Britain, were involved. The media was accusing him of treason. Obama holdovers were criminally unmasking and leaking against him. Democrats were calling him mentally ill and trying to impeach him. His lawyers' offices were raided, and Mueller investigated him with a team of Democrat donors and ex-Hillary lawyers. This political shock and awe campaign would have crippled any other politician who had a normal pain threshold. The fact that he fought back and survived this assault demonstrates his strong will and commitment to our country. But it also demonstrates great instincts and passion of you, the American people, who saw through the fake news and followed the facts.
You cleared the president on obstruction. The president is fundraising off of your comments about spying. And here you have remarks that are quite generous to the president, including acknowledging his feelings and his emotions. So what do you say to people on both sides of the aisle who are concerned that you are trying to protect the president?
Well, actually, the statements about his sincere beliefs are recognized in the report, that there was substantial evidence for that. So I'm not sure what your basis is for saying that I am being generous to the president.
You face an unprecedented situation. It just seems like there's a lot of effort to go out of your way to acknowledge how this.
Well, is there another precedent for it?
No, but it's unusual.
Okay, so unprecedented is an accurate description, isn't it?
Yes, but
okay.
What do you...
Got her. And the media all of a sudden is calling him a toady.
Would not be surprised if some headline writer somewhere came up with Baghdad Bill Barr for what we saw today.
Barr continues to shill for the president. Donald Trump got his man. He wanted somebody who was going to be loyal. He wanted a protector. He wanted a fixer.
He auditioned for this job. He was chosen to protect the president of the United States. He is basically a lackey and a sycophant for the president of the United States of America, and that's all it's going to be.
That's just pathetic. He's not the president's lawyer. He's the chief law enforcement officer of the federal government. Now, as a comparison, here's how Eric Holder described himself.
Are you going to stay around for all 4 years?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Come on, man. Come on.
We need you.
I got to ask.
Come
on, Mr. Attorney General, please.
So, well, I'm happy. I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. There's still work to be done. I'm still a president's wingman, so I'm there with my boy.
Holder called himself Obama's wingman. He was Obama's boy. And the media thinks Holder was independent, but Barr is in the tank? Come on. This wasn't a fair investigation. This was a cover-up of Obama's abuse of power and the continuation of the insurance policy. It was a nasty screed, this report, written by Democratic prosecutors to keep the witch hunt alive. Now, has the media learned anything? No.
It really corroborated a lot of the good journalism that was done.
Unbelievable stupidity. Let me ask you a serious question, just looking ahead. If they actually have the IG report that comes out, the Barr investigation, and they start releasing some of these documents, and everything starts to shift, and there's actual concrete evidence of malfeasance, deceit, on the part of Obama administration officials, will the media be able to put their partisan hats down for a second and actually follow the facts where they lead?
No.
You don't think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. There's a tangible reason. I mean, listen, I dislike the liberal media, and anybody can say how horrible they are, because they are. The evidence is everywhere. But there's a real material reason. The reason is a lot of media figures were co-conspirators in this.
Right.
You have people like Isikoff and Korn who were actually cited in FISA documents in a FISA court. Their material, they were leaked to by conspirators in this,
and then
to then go back and spy. It was
right.
a big circular reasoning of idiots.
What do you think about the press now saying, oh, obstruction of justice? I mean, imagine you get accused of something, you didn't do it, and then you fight back, and you get charged for fighting back. That's what happened with the president.
The media is angry about the president being angry about being framed. Isn't that's like hysterical when you think about it.
But they can't wrap their head around the fact that he might have been framed.
Oh,
they still are believing in collusion. Listen to this sound from the press. They're still kind of hanging on to this thing. Watch.
The chapter on collusion shows significant contact between people on the Trump campaign and with the Russians.
He had basically a Keystone Cops aspect of the Trump campaign. They wanted to conspire. They just never found the right opportunity to do so.
If there wasn't active collusion proven, then I think what we have here is a case of passive collusion.
Passive collusion.
That's like going in the bank to take money out and calling it a passive bank robbery. You know, like you either robbed the bank or you did.
Right.
There's no passive collusion. Right. But that's Clapper. Clapper's never had anything right from the start of this thing. He's got to be the worst director of national intelligence we have ever had.
And he's going to get a lawyer, isn't he?
He's going to need one.